What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of In the Wild. Today, we are at Midtown Tavern, which is here on Central Avenue, and we're doing a very fun episode. And first up, we have Maguire Welsh, who is our esteemed owner and Jag Perks partner. So we're gonna talk a little bit about that. And then we have a very fun segment where we get to bring one of my ideas to life, a Jaguarita. We'll tell you more about it in a minute. But yeah, I'm super excited to talk to Maguire and experience all things here at Midtown Tavern. So I hope you're ready, Jag Nation, because here we go. Well, Maguire, thanks for having us here at Midtown Tavern. Excited to chat with you a little bit. And diving right in, could you talk a little bit about just your journey and what inspired you to open Midtown Tavern?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. So, I was working and doing a job and was really looking to create something. I was working a lot and working in the insurance world, and was looking around at different industries and businesses. I moved away for 6 years, moved down to St. Simon's, and
Oh, nice.
I moved home and felt like, if I wanted to create something, I could do it here at home. And was looking around at a few different things. Restaurant was on top of the list, but I looked at shipping and receiving businesses. I looked at all kinds of stuff, and the place that was Soul City Pizza was in this building, and I was good friends with the guys that owned it, and had worked for them. And they found out that I was looking around. I looked at Helga's. I looked at the old Mellow Mushroom building, and then they approached me and said, "Hey, do you want to just come buy Soul City?" And so that's how we got here. That was long process, of looking at it, overseeing it, and it felt like it was just kind of the right move. I started working in this building when I was 15.
Oh, wow.
As a busboy for Andrew Crumrine at a place called Crumbs. And this building's been a restaurant since '74. It was Cafe Le Naturel, Cafe du Toe, and then it became Crumbs, and then it became Southbound, and then Soul City, and now it's Midtown. We'd like it to stay Midtown, but I've had a lot of memories in this building, and funny enough, when I was coming in to take over Soul City, I came up here and started overseeing, just to check and see, was the business running right? Was everything okay? There wasn't anything on the books that wasn't weird, and one of the servers was like, "Hey, do you know where the stapler is?" I was like, I don't work here. And but funny enough, I went right to where it used to be, and it was there. So it's just this building just makes sense. Spent many years in this building before I even owned it. So that's how we got here.
So what is that like to, I guess, have all the memories of this place, of working here and now being the owner? What is that like?
It's good. It's kind of it can be scary at times for sure. But I've got a lot of good people in my corner, guys that I respect, that I went to. The guy who actually owns this building is somewhat of a mentor in the, I would say definitely a mentor, Andrew Crumrine, who I worked for. So I can call him and be like, this is going on, or what would you do here? What would you do there? Or, and vice versa. He'll call me and be like, because he's such a great chef. And I'm definitely more of a front of the house guy. I'm not a chef. Don't get me wrong. I'm back there cooking plenty, but I prefer to be up here talking to people. And he'll just call me and be like, "So I've got this idea," and it's an interesting place to be,
And I'm sure having that support feels good because you have that personal relationship previously, and it's from this building too.
Yeah, we have people that I used to wait on coming here. I've had people come to the door, and they'd be like, "Did you used to work here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, now I own the place." And, so it's definitely a small town neighborhood vibe. It's still got that thing, and I think a lot of the neighbors are very appreciative of what it is now compared to what it's been in the past, with late nights and partying and trash in the yards. And I think that we tried to grab some of what Crumbs was, which was this little southern neighborhood place, and trying to do kind of a similar thing, you know.
Well, I've been here before, and I've always been happy every time I've been here. But you guys are also a Jag Perks partner.
Yes.
Could you talk a little bit about what that means to you and your, I guess, connection to AU?
Yeah, I mean, I love Augusta, and I love everything about it. I want to see it grow. My dad went to AU, and my dad had me when he was younger. I mean, he wasn't a baby, but he was like 21, and he was still finishing his degree. So I mean, I used to go sit up there. He got a art degree, so it was in French of some sort, and so I would go sit in his French classes over when it was Augusta College, I guess back then. But and just this area, like the stretch between downtown campus and Somerville campus. I mean, 15 years ago, you didn't go out to your car at night. You really didn't. Cars would get broken into, and now with Buona across the street, the coffee shop, I mean, it's just a great corner. It's a great little spot, and love to see AU grow and continue to grow. I mean, it's grown so much in my lifetime, you know, and I think it's a great school. I mean,
yeah, and I think you mentioned it perfectly with like your location, because it is between our health sciences campus and Somerville, like almost perfect drive for anybody, regardless of what campus you work on. So for Midtown, how would you say it stands out and just like unique when it comes to like the Augusta food scene?
So that was what we tried to hit on, you know, and I pick on Augusta because it is a little behind in its food and beverage. Like there are some great, you know, fine dining restaurants, and I think a lot of people think that we are that, and we're really just the middle of the road. Like you can come in here, nice clean place, have a good burger, and walk away without spending a bunch of money. You know, I don't want to be that $50 a person place. That's really not what I was going for, or $100. You know, and so I think it's a good middle market spot, and it's a place where you walk in, you never know who you're going to see. Like, I mean, a lot of times it takes people 10 minutes to get to their table from the front door, you know, because they run into so many people. So that's nice. That's really what I wanted, and we've accomplished it, to be honest.
And what type of work, I guess, goes into making that scene and making that welcoming, friendly environment?
Consistency, for sure.
Okay.
Making sure people want to come back. And you know, it comes down to the staff, which I have an amazing staff. I mean, my front of the house, my managers, my chef, everybody is just great, and they're really personable and really gotten to know everybody. And I think that's a big key. And like I said, consistency in making people want to come back. You know, even if you don't know people when you first come in here, you might meet them after sitting next to them for a while. And the bar is very welcoming, inviting. I mean, you know, we have a lot of people that have met each other at this bar, so yeah.
And that's a good feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So seeing how, with your experience, especially with your connection with some of the previous owners and folks that have worked in this building, like I guess advice would you give to maybe a future business owner or a future restaurateur?
Future restaurateur is tough. You know, I mean, that, you know, everybody said that when I was doing this, and I mean, I remember sitting down with my dad, who used to own a restaurant called Busy Chicken 20 years ago, and he was like, restaurant business is tough, and I was like, well, I mean, I don't get what you mean by that, you know. And I've learned, you know, it's fine margins, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, and you gotta have tough skin. You know, you're not gonna please everybody. And you've got to figure out what you want, and you got to stick to it, and it'll either work or it won't. And I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like, just because one person comes in here and says, oh, I don't like it, I don't like this because you do it this way. Well, you've got 110 other people that like it that way, and you just have to stay true to what you think is right, and then just work hard. You know, many sleepless nights, you know, we did all the renovations in here ourselves, and I mean, it took 3 months.
It looks great.
Well, thank you. My mom's an interior decorator, so I can't take all the credit. But you know, it was 3 months of 12 hours a day in here, swinging hammers and painting and doing all that kind of stuff, and then And then once you open, that's when the real work begins. And just nailing it off the start, you know.
Is there anything that I guess surprised you that may have been easier than you thought it would be, or more difficult than you thought it would be?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a really good question. I really don't. I don't know. I mean, I figured it would all be pretty hard. You know, managing of people, finding good people, that was tougher than I thought. You know, we've got a pretty solid core that's been here since we opened, or at least right after we opened. But you know, everybody, you hear the old guys say it all the time, like, oh, people aren't how they used to be. It's kind of true. You know, people don't want to work as much as they do or used to, and you know, and there are easier ways to make money than cooking in a kitchen. So that's definitely been, I think, the biggest surprise is finding good help and that kind of stuff.
Well, it seems like you do have a lot of good help.
I do, and I mean, I try to keep them here, you know.
So what would you say is next for Midtown Tavern? I'd like to ask some of our folks on campus, just like, if money was no object and you had all the resources that you need, like what would this place be?
We are working on a kind of a secret project.
Okay.
Well, I guess this is coming out in March. So we've got a speakeasy we're building in the back.
Oh, wow.
And so if it's not open by March, I'm going to be mad. But so we're in the middle of that. And so it's something different, something cool, fine craft cocktails, no dining, just fresh cocktails. And this building's old, like, and the section we're putting it in was built in like 1910. So
wow.
It really fits the vibe. And we're just kind of working towards that. So that's something, and I think if money was really not an object, I'd want to do a fast casual, like burgers and tenders, which are definitely my two best selling things. The burger is taken off. It's just good cut of meat. We won the burger battle with Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, cool.
And so that's been received really well. And then the chicken tenders is my dad's old recipe, and that's done really well. So I think I would do something like that, like a Gary's, Five Guys kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all the cool things that are happening here, definitely with the speakeasy. That sounds really exciting.
Yeah.
So you guys stay tuned for that. You said it should be open by March?
It should be open sooner than that, but yeah. Yeah.
Well, thanks for chatting with me, Jaguar. And for those watching, stay tuned because we got some more fun stuff coming up. Welcome back, y'all. We are still at Midtown Tavern. Now we're behind the bar, and we're gonna have Jordan work her magic on a couple special drinks. So I'll hand over to you, Jordan. What are we making today?
So this is the Jaguarita. It's a margarita, but blue. So we use a fresh agave.
Okay.
1 ounce of that. And then we're gonna do fresh squeezed lime juice. 1 ounce of that. And then it's 2 ounces of tequila of your choice. We use Onza Blanco. And then we'll do 1 ounce of the blue carousel, which is essentially a triple sec. It's just dyed blue.
Okay.
So it gives you that nice color. And then a nice little shake. If you'd like to pour it in that glass.
All right. That was really quick. All right.
Okay. This is a very simple one. You can make at the house. Blue carousel you can pick up at any liquor store. We also have another version that we make. It's with our homemade tincture, which is essentially like a bitters. It's a blueberry flavor. So we're gonna go in with the tequila again, 2 ounces of that. And then we'll do 1 ounce of the agave. And then 1 ounce of the fresh squeezed lime juice. The fresh squeezed lime juice definitely makes a difference on a cocktail.
Okay.
Versus the store-bought. And then we'll do 3 dashes of the blueberry bitters. A nice little shake. We'd like to pour it.
All right.
And it can also be topped with some blueberries just to make it look prettier.
I love that. So for the tinctures, right? You said you make these in-house?
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
what we do is we just take a mason jar and we fill up the mason jar with some blueberries, or you can do rosemary, strawberries, thyme, anything you really want to do. Depending on what it is, it might take a little bit longer than 2 weeks. You can always like taste it and see how strong it is. So we're gonna fill it all the way to the top. And then we pour some Everclear in there. Okay, give it a nice seal. Shake. And you store it in a dry, cool place for about 2 weeks. Certain things might take a little longer. And then after that, you try it. If it tastes good, you strain it, and there you go.
Awesome.
It just adds flavor without having to muddle and make homemade syrups and all that.
Seems a lot easier, cleaner.
Yeah.
To make it that way.
It's just time consuming, you know, you just have to have the time to do it. But it's really fun and simple, and it's honestly cheaper than buying like different flavored liqueurs.
Makes sense. How long have you been bartending?
I've been doing it for almost 6 years.
Oh, nice. What, I guess, drew you to this field for bartending?
So I was a server before, and I just loved the adrenaline rush of like being busy, and I got behind the bar just trying it out, and I really enjoyed like creating things like on the fly when a customer's like, I want something sweet or I want something herbal, and you know, just throwing it together, and you're kind of like cooking, and you just make cool, unique things, and it's the experience that people have from it that like really makes me want to do it more. So when they're like, oh my gosh, this is the best cocktail I've ever had.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm getting ready to try these.
You definitely
to see,
should try 'em.
To see how they taste. But I also wanted to see if I could try making it.
Of course, yeah.
To just improve my own
Yeah.
bartending skills. I'm far from a bartender, but I do love a good margarita.
It's really simple. You know, you just have to have a little bit of patience with it. But
Okay.
So we're gonna go in with the tequila. You'll do 2 ounces of that, which is the big side.
Okay, so big side. Just throw it in?
Yep.
All right.
And then we'll do 1 ounce of the agave, which is the small side. And you can do simple syrup. I personally love agave in a margarita. It's just more natural and it tastes better. It helps with the hangovers.
We hate those.
Oh yeah, especially with
Okay.
tequila.
What's
And
next?
then fresh squeezed lime juice. Again, you can use store-bought lime juice, but
Small side?
yep, 1 ounce of that. Fresh squeeze is just so much better. Okay, and then we're gonna do 1 ounce of that blue carousel again. And then we give it some ice and a nice little shake.
Okay. So I'm just throwing this,
Yep.
throw the ice in, or?
Just make sure you smack it down so none of the liquid comes out when you're shaking it. perfect.
All right. Oh.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, we need the lime.
Oh, it's over there.
Final touch. Okay, so now we have to try
Yes.
the Jaguar for the first time.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is good. This is good.
That agave and the fresh lime juice really makes a
The
difference.
salt on the rim.
You have to try the blueberry one too.
Okay. Oh, wow.
So it's not overpowering in the sweetness. It just gives you the hint and the flavor.
Yeah. Definitely feels a little bit different from the blue one, but it does have the taste like you said.
So if you had to choose, which one do you like better?
I feel like if I was going out, I would probably go with the Jaguar. I love the colors, like it's branded, all that good stuff, but I feel like if I was making it at home, I would go with this one.
It's just more fun and creative.
And plus you sold me on with the tincture, the blueberries, and the lime. I feel like this one might be a little bit more fun to make at home.
Yeah. And the tinctures last for like 8 months. So, you know,
Oh, wow.
You don't have to use it as soon as you make it. You can keep it in the house for the next cocktail party or Christmas party. It's really nice, like conversation starter too, when you have guests over.
So what about you? Which one is your favorite?
The blueberry.
Gotcha. Well, thanks again. I guess any final thoughts before I let you go?
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to show me how to make the Jaguar. This has been like a long-lived dream that I've had for the longest
Glad
time.
I can help fulfill that.
And yeah, I can have a recipe to make at home, but I guess folks can come here to request the Jaguar now.
Yeah.
So, all right. I can't wait to try the rest of this off camera.
Remember, it's the beginning of the day, though. That is tequila.
It's tequila time somewhere. All right, y'all. I hope you enjoyed this episode of In the Wild at Midtown Tavern. Feel free to check out the Jaguar. You can see I've already finished mine because it was delicious. And don't forget, they are a Jag Perks partner. So come here with your Jag card and you'll get a discount. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, do all the things to let us know that you enjoyed this episode. And until then, I'll be finishing the little sip left of this Jaguar, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Jags!